So, as I'm sure most people probably know at this point, there's 8 new pets coming to Hypixel Skyblock. Honestly, 8 pets is a crazy amount of pets to drop in one update. So today we're going to take a look at all 8 of these pets and see which ones actually potentially could be good or useful. Anyway, at the moment these 8 new pets are obtainable in the alpha, and they're all obtainable initially in the form of fossils. Anyway, the fossils are not really what's important for the sake of this video, it's just the pets, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. Well, first of all we have the penguin, which is a fishing pet. It gives us a base plus 30% sea creature chance. Each time you catch a sea creature, reduce your cold by 6. Now of course this will only be useful when actually in the new area of the Dwarven Mines. The fishing speed reduction from being on the ground is reduced by 100%, as we see on other pets too. Gain 75 fishing speed while in the glaciate tunnels. Now this is obviously a fishing pet geared towards the new area, but it might not be half bad in other areas of Skyblock as well. If we take a look at something like the Ammonite pet, this is a pretty popular fishing pet. It gives us 12 sea creature chance, and when you're at Heart of the Mountain 7, it gives you an extra 7, so you have 19% extra sea creature chance at level 100. Of course, this pet also gives you fishing speed as well, but that 19 sea creature chance isn't 30 like the penguin gives you. So if you're looking for sea creature chance, the penguin seems to be a really good pet. Now let's take a look at the Spinosaurus. This is another fishing pet that gives us 8 sea creature chance and 25 fishing speed. Sea creatures spawn with 15% of their maximum health missing, gain 8 magic find against sea creatures. During rain, increases this pet's base stats and stats granted by perks by 75%. And in my opinion, it might not be, you might not use the Spinosaurus pet for the same reason that you'd use the penguin pet, but this seems to be a pretty good pet. Let's take a look. 8 sea creature chance, decent. I mean, it's not best. The penguin gives 30, the ammonite can give 19, and flying fish can also give more. Fishing speed of 25, which I guess isn't too bad as a base stat. The magic find is really nice, and then we have the primordial fisher. Now, of course, this isn't really going to be massively a usable perk in the Crimson Isles because it doesn't rain, but otherwise, yeah, pretty decent. I mean, realistically, in terms of sea creature chance and fishing speed, the Ammonite is most likely still going to be better in most scenarios, but a magic find is actually pretty big from a pet. Now, before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. You should subscribe to the channel. If you watch the videos and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the Mammoth pet. Okay, it's a combat pet, it's going to give us plus 50 defense and plus 10 cold resistant. Gain 100% chance from mobs to inflict cold when damaging you in the glaciate mineshafts. Gain plus 0.5 magic find for every 100 mining fortune doubled in the glaciate tunnels and glaciate mineshafts. Gain 30 mining fortune for each frozen corpse looted in your current glaciate mineshaft. Now, first of all, this pet is going to basically increase your survivability, how long you can survive in the cold while in the glacial mineshafts and also the glaciate tunnels. Second of all, this magic find perk actually seems kind of cracked. Gain 0.5 magic find for every 100 mining fortune doubled in the tunnels and also the mineshafts. That sounds really, really good. And then again, the 30 mining fortune for every frozen corpse looted in your current glacial mineshaft. Now, this seems like it's probably going to be a really, really strong pet, if I'm being honest. There's not really anything we can really compare it to at the moment because, of course, we don't have cold in the actual game on the main server yet. Many of the pets do give magic find, but this is in a pretty unique way. Next up, we have the Mole Pet. This is a mining pet. It gives us 100 intelligence and 75 mining speed at base. Increase your chance of finding scavenged items in the mines of Devan by 25%. Gain a 100% chance for Professor Robot to ask for 1 less part. Gain a 100% chance to receive an extra drop when completing the Crystal Nucleus. Plain and simple, this is a Crystal Nucleus pet. And honestly, I really, really like it. I think it's a really cool idea that they've added something so specific for a very specific part of mining. I can imagine this is going to be quite a sought after pet. Who wouldn't want the Nucleus runs speeding up and also giving them an extra chance to drop that shiny alloy? Okay, next up we have the Goblin Pet. It's another mining pet. First of all, it gives us 20 speed and 10% extra crit chance. Increases the coins obtained from Goblin coin bags by 50%. The King's Scent Potion effect lasts 100% longer on you. Increases the chance of finding rare goblin eggs by 50%. Now, obviously this is just a pet completely revolving around goblins. But once again, we have another perk that can help us out with Nucleus runs. The King's Scent Potion effect lasts for 100% longer on you. Now, I don't know exactly how this works. I would assume maybe if you unequip the pet, then you lose the scent, or you lose the buff from the scent. Or maybe you just have to have the pet equipped when you actually get the scent and it's then just doubled. If that's the case, then you can use this pet I guess in combination with the mole pet. So that would be really cool. The goblin egg perk is kind of cool too. Gaining extra coins from the goblin loot bags is, yeah, it's okay. It is a perk, I guess. I've got to say though, these pets so far have been pretty unique, and I don't really think we've come across a bad pet. I mean, there's some that are probably going to be more sought after and used than others, but still no bad pets yet. Next up we have the TRex Pet. Now this is a combat pet. It's going to give us plus 75 base strength, 5 crit chance and 25 ferocity, which is really strong. Deal 100% more damage to enemies within 1.5 blocks. I mean, that makes complete sense considering T-Rex have tiny arms. Or had. Attacks have a 10% chance to stun the target. Stats granted by pet items on this pet are increased by 100%. Yeah, now this is a very cool pet. Number 1, the base stats are great. Number 2, this ability, the Tyrant, is great as well. Doubled pet stats, who wouldn't want that? Oh, sorry, double pet item stats, who wouldn't want that? Attacks have a 10% chance to stun the target. I mean, I guess that could be decent against mini-bosses. Deal 100% more damage to targets within 1.5 blocks. I mean, you've just got to come into a situation where I guess you're using a melee weapon and you're really close to them. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting one. I'm not sure how usable that really is. It's not a bad perk, it's definitely unique. But in a day and age where melee weapons seem to be going more and more obsolete, and realistically, you know, you're not going to use the T-Rex Pet with a Hyperion. We'll see how it pans out, but I just don't know how practical or usable it really is. But once again, it's still not a bad pet. It's a great pet. The base stats are great. The last ability is really cool. And it'll be interesting to see how the T-Rex arms ability actually works out. Okay, so next we have the Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus. That's got to be right. Right? Well, it's a combat pet. And it gives us 150 health, 50 defense, and 15 true defense at base. We gain 15% of your defense as strength. Increase the effectiveness of last stand and lifeline by 50%. Every 5th hit deals 50% of your final damage to enemies within 5 blocks. Enemies hit 10 less damage for 10 seconds. So, on face value, this seems to be a bit of a tank pet. Base health, defense, and true defense, which is really cool. Gain 15% of your defense as strength. Obviously, the more defense you have, the more strength you'll gain. Increases the effectiveness of last stand by 50% and lifeline by 50%. Now, that could be really, really interesting. Somebody with a really insane lifeline setup, maybe for Infernal Kudra. I wonder how this pet would play out with it, and I wonder if it'd be better than G-Drag. The last perk is it is very wordy. Every 5th hit deals 50% of your final damage to enemies within 5 blocks. So, yeah, I guess it's just kind of like almost like a ground slam ability, but which ticks after every 5th hit. So that's kind of interesting. I guess it's just something that's more of a passive that you don't actually kind of intend to do. Seems like it's going to be a pretty decent tank pet, and the lifeline being increased by 50% will be pretty interesting too. Now, I mentioned before that there's 8 pets. There's actually only 7. There's 8 fossils, but 7 pets. Nevertheless, they are 7 very interesting pets. None of them bad. All of them different, all of them interesting. Now, the interesting thing that I think is, of course, there's 2 fishing pets. One of them actually reduces cold and increases sea creature chance. So that's surely got to be hinting at potentially having sea creatures in the glaciite mineshafts or tunnels, which, you know, is interesting because majority of the update is focused around mining, Heart of the Mountain 10, and so on. But actually at the same time, it seems there's potential for fishing too to be updated. Now, whether that means fishing 60 or not, I'm not really sure. I'd guess probably not. Still very cool to think about. And another thing that really does intrigue me is the pets that's giving us a 50% lifeline buff. Yeah. Because if you've got really high lifeline on your equipment and armor, and you're just going to slap an extra 50% on top of that, that would be kind of crazy. Anyway, this is going to wrap up today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments of these pets. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.